Hello there. I wasn't sure if you would be on this platform on the weekend. So that's why I was like, you know what? Let me talk to working moms during the week. We're going to talk about something that comes up all the time, and that is how to accomplish anything when you have a flurry of interruptions as a working mom. So let's imagine that you're a solopreneur like I am, and you're a podcaster, or you are a coach, or maybe you're a thought leader in some other way, or a writer. And then on the weekends, you're part of like these WhatsApp groups, and it's like a flurry of messages from moms in the fourth grade. And it's all about the Halloween things that need to happen and who's going to fill the trick or treat bags for the classroom and all that jazz, right? But for that moment, you really wanted to look at your book's landing page. That was me this weekend. So, how do you think about this, right? And I wanted to share with you an excerpt from my book. I'm not going to actually read it, but I'll give you a sense of where you might want to take this insight and put it into action. So, the chapter that I'm referring to of my physical book that I just got this Saturday in the mail, check it out in the flesh. I'm excited about it. It's my book in physical format is chapter 18. And this chapter, I actually interviewed on my podcast, Unimaginable Wellness, Mark Champagne. He's the author of a book called Personal Socrates. And he talks about this idea of taking a pause. So imagine that you're interrupted, right? You have that flurry of WhatsApp text messages from mom saying, hey, who's going to put together these trick or treat bags for my kids or for the kids, right? What is it that you need to do? So you need to put your phone away and you need to actually make good on what's going to accomplish the goal that you set out for yourself at the beginning of your Saturday or Sunday. And here's how that might look in terms of the reframe. So the reframe is the following. Okay, here I am, working mom. I have kids all over the place. It's Halloween, it's the weekend, but I'm a solopreneur. And the reality is, as a solopreneur, there might be weekends where you do work, like me, especially if you have a book coming out. You're going to have to do a couple of things over the weekend in order to work with people from around the world who are part of the ecosystem that you operate in, right? So there we go. You have to take a pause. What I would suggest you do is take a pause amidst all those interruptions and ask yourself this question. Okay, where am I right now today? And again, we're thinking about this landing page that is not yet live. And where is it that I want to be at the end of today? And taking a pause, regardless of how many WhatsApp messages you're getting, like almost feeling like bamboozled by messages, you have to take that pause and you have to really think to yourself, what do I need to do today in order to make good on the goal that I have put out to myself? And that's a lot of what happens as a solopreneur, especially if you're a working mom and you have multiple kids. I have 3 little boys. So for me, I might be part of a flurry of WhatsApp communities. I might be part of a WhatsApp community that talks about AI solutions and innovations, which I am. I might be a part of fourth grade moms WhatsApp communities also on my cell phone, but it doesn't necessarily mean that I have to be looking at every single notification if that day was set aside in order for me to look at my landing page updates. And this is as a solopreneur and a person who has several children, 3 kids at this time and forever. So let's just imagine in your case, right? So let's say that you work from home, and let's just imagine that you get a bunch of text messages from other moms, and it has to do with, putting together a wonderful Halloween party in your kid's school. Like, do you need to actually like every single update? Do you need to even respond? Maybe choose a different part of the day or time of day in order to look logically through what's been said and then weigh in as you see fit at one point. And that's it. Call it a day. So for me, gotta be honest, I haven't even looked at those notifications because I have a sense of where they're going with this. But I completed the landing page. So I chose Saturday as that day that I was going to accomplish what I needed to do in order to update my landing page. It's going to come up very soon. It's going to be up by Tuesday evening, fertileideas.com. Right now, what you can do on the existing landing page is actually get a free chapter of my book. And it's the chapter where I interviewed a puppeteer from Sesame Street, and we talk about the art of playfulness as it relates to using your imagination as a working mom. It's really as much as a stress relief, the art of play, as it is a way for you to innovate, not just innovate pertaining to coming up with new games, although you might be able to do that, but innovate in any field in which you are. So, for example, I had interviewed Beth Comstock, the former CMO of GE, and she's in my book, and she actually gave herself permission to try weird things. All that meant were things that she was not usually around. So, for example, for you, let's imagine that you know that TikTok has its uses and benefits in your field. You just might not have figured out precisely what they are or how to bring that or introduce that into your organization. Take this time to play around with TikTok, right? And when I say play around, I don't mean like get lost and start like going down a rabbit hole. But what I mean is like, okay, figure out like, why is it so sticky? Why do people keep going back here? What is it about people's attention span that is just lower and lower and lower? So here's the whole point, and this is what's going to matter today. As you look at this week, as a working mom, you're going to be interrupted by so many things. Like right now, you don't even know what is going to interrupt you. But what I would invite you to do, as the chapter in my book for imagination really, shares, is use that time when you feel interrupted to take a pause, an intentional pause, and ask yourself, where am I right now? And where do I want to be by the end of the day? And I shrunk the time horizon, not where do I want to be in 5 years, because I think as moms, a lot can change in a 24-hour period. A kid can get hit, with a baseball bat, have to go to the ER. You might drop like glasses on the floor and then all of a sudden have to clean up the floor. So really just think to yourself, where am I now? Where do I want to be by the end of the day? Use that time of massive interruptions to just reflect on what needs to happen in order for you to make good on what you set out to do. And here's where I want to really come very clear. We do things for other people oftentimes and bend over backwards in order to make good on promises we have made to other people. What I'm asking you in my book and for today and just one moment of this week is to choose yourself, in the words of someone else who's in my book, James Altucher, and really think to yourself, how can I look after what I want to accomplish in my life? Like, you get to have a life too. You don't have to be on the sidelines. You don't need to feel like you are passing along your baton to your kids just because you have kids now. You still have the baton in your hand. And that's also why I wrote the book. So check out the landing page for today. And by the end of Tuesday, it's going to be totally freshened up with the landing page that I actually did work on over the weekend. And if you feel interrupted or you feel bamboozled by all these WhatsApp messages about what's happening in the Halloween class party, then give yourself a moment to just rethink what's important over the next 24 hours. I'm going to go ahead and take a pause right now. I've been on a podcast as a guest because of the book, sharing the message for working moms. And I also conducted my own podcast interviewing Dr. Sabrina. We talked about wellness because I want to make sure that working moms that listen to my podcast, Unimaginable Wellness, bubble wrap their sanity. And now it's time for a break. It's time for that blessed pause that I learned about from Mark Champagne, whom I interviewed and who is in my book. Again, I want to show you my book in its physical form. I am so excited about it. And it's brilliant in the sense that the color is amazing. And it's also very, very important for you to get your hands on it on October 31st, because that's when it first goes on sale. And it's in its Kindle format. It will be for only 99 cents for one day only. So you know how like in the US, like you have that Macy's one day sale thing and you keep hearing about it perpetually. Well, this is going to be better than the one day Macy's sale. Like this is going to be actually one day. So go ahead, fertileideas.com, get the free chapter, and then you will be the first to know when this goes on sale in its Kindle format on October 31st. Yes, it's Halloween. So think about pumpkins and think about my book, Pumpkins and Book. All right, have an amazing rest of your Monday, moms.